Hello and welcome to YNWA Transfer News, your ultimate source for all Liverpool FC transfer news. Our first news is this. Wirtz is a sure thing at Liverpool, but Newcastle are gambling on Woltemade. What must a footballer who costs 80 million, 100 million or more be able to do and prove? He should be a promising prospect at the age of 17 to 20, occupy a clear position on the pitch, be one of the 5 most important players in a team, perform consistently over many years, prove himself in international competition, and be physically strong. This applies to virtually all those players in this price range. Kylian Mbappe, Neymar, Ronaldo, Erling Haaland, Jude Bellingham, and Ousmane Dembélé. 2 German footballers moved to the Premier League for such a sum in the summer. One of them meets these criteria. Florian Wirtz's career has been impressive. He caught the football's attention as a teenager. It was only a matter of time before he made his breakthrough. Having just turned 17, Wirtz made his mark in the Bundesliga and immediately became a key player. He played for Germany at 18 and was the decisive player in Bayer Leverkusen's first league title at 20. Every time he takes to the pitch, you can see how Wirtz interprets his no-10 role. He solves difficult situations, sets up new ones, and, as an individualist who puts himself at the service of everyone else, is the ideal team player. His actions and performances are reliable for coaches and teammates. He chose his new club for sporting reasons. Liverpool, the English champions, have specifically strengthened their stable formation with him. It takes time to fit into a team. This is especially true for a player who makes a difference. So far, he is getting into his groove and adapting to the pace and intensity of the Premier League. He passes the ball early, which gives him increasing confidence and allows him to gradually take more risks. In the first half against Arsenal, what caught the eye was Wirtz as a team player, and in the second half, his brilliance. He played razor-sharp passes, took the ball superbly with his right foot in the penalty area, and shot with his left. With him, his team became stronger and won. Wirtz's qualities are becoming increasingly apparent at Liverpool. The case of Woltemade is different. He is 23, a good year older than Wirtz, but became a regular player in a first-division team only after scoring 2 goals against Heidenheim 9 months ago. At the age when Wirtz won the double with Leverkusen, Woltemade was playing on loan in the German third tier for a season. It is unclear how well he will perform in the Champions League. He has not played in the competition because Stuttgart did not include him in their squad for it last season. He has not yet scored against big teams, his most important goal coming in the cup final against the third-tier side Arminia Bielefeld. He is a player with virtually no track record. At the European Under-21 Championship this summer, he was the top scorer, one of the oldest players in one of the oldest teams. The best footballers such as Lamine Yamal, Bellingham, Jamal Musiala, and Wirtz do not take part in such tournaments, having long since outgrown the level. Woltemade is unpredictable. His dribbling, passing, and shooting are not found in the textbooks. They are unique with no international comparison. Unlike other top players, his center of gravity is rarely at the center of the movement. He thrives on his free spirit and self-confidence and seems to want to reinvent the game at no 9. But he has not yet developed any consistency or patterns, not in his first touch, not in his combination play, not in his timing on headers, not in his shooting. His goals are not the logical consequence of excellent actions and skills. His excellence is not repeatable, and he still has to prove that he can last 50 games in a season because he is tall but not robust. The 85 million, 73.5 million that Newcastle are paying for Woltemade is therefore a gamble. For the player, the new contract is a once-in-a-lifetime project. He wanted to go to Bayern Munich, and when someone else paid the asking price, he went there. The owners from Saudi Arabia and the club's management are new to the business. In a gold rush atmosphere, mistakes are made and miracles are believed in. That is the difference between the 2 transfers. Liverpool want to develop a successful team through the principle of selection. At Anfield, people don't mind that Wirtz costs $125 because they know that this is sports business at the highest level, whose market value can be compared only to art, film, or pop music. This has nothing to do with club life and voluntary work anymore. When investments are made according to a strategy, paying customers accept it. Under the caring guidance of Arne Slot, something interesting seems to be emerging in Liverpool. Something you want to be a part of. I can well understand why Wirtz was convinced. I experienced it myself at Bayern from 2010 to 2017 and with Germany from 2004 to 2014. Both teams went through a long process, becoming stronger through transfers or new players coming through. In the end, the sum was greater than the individual parts. I will draw on this community for the rest of my life. Wirtz can now experience something similar, at least at club level. It will be exciting to see whether Liverpool will be a really great team and whether he will be the final piece of the puzzle. As a fan, I hope so, and I am happy to identify with that. Liverpool have lost their own. Guehi in generational talent. Jurgen Klopp's decision to leave. Liverpool at the end of the 2023-24 season hung heavy over Anfield as the Arne Slot era looked to get up and running, and many thought the former Feyenoord coach would fall quickly by the wayside. But Liverpool won the Premier League, and Slot is now renowned not just for his shrewd triumphs in his Dutch homeland, but his success on a grander scale with Liverpool, who have fortified last year's exploits with an utterly merciless spending spree across the summer transfer window, now the overwhelming favorites to retain their crown. Liverpool did have to haul some surplus this summer, selling a whole host of first-team players in a major reshuffle. Up-and-coming stars such as Harvey Elliott and Jarell Quansah were sold, despite making headway as top English talents over the past few years. Quansah fell toward the fringes under Slot's wing last season, and was sold to Bayer Leverkusen for 35 million after being told he would continue to play a peripheral role throughout 2025-26. Liverpool signed 18-year-old Giovanni Leone to replace him, but Crystal Palace's Mark Guehi was the one who was viewed right up until the final moments of the transfer window as the perfect player to slot in alongside Virgil van Dijk. Liverpool missed out on Guehi when Guehi scored a peach against Aston Villa. Before the September international break, his celebration carried with it the sense that he had written an incredible fairy tale ending to his chapter at Crystal Palace. A move to Liverpool wasn't just on the cards, but imminent. Only it fell through at the 11th hour on deadline day after the Eagles failed to secure an adequate replacement for Oliver Glasner's captain, who has been instrumental across 2025 for the multi-trophy winning side. Guehi, 25, has emerged over the past few years as one of the best defenders in the Premier League, with his combative and composed defensive style merging with a technical game that stretches beyond what is expected of a center half. Indeed, he has been described as an absolute gem by his former coach Michael Beale, who singled out his formative years at Chelsea's Cobham as building his technical level. Glasner, for his part, is adamant that certain stories of his desperate and successful efforts to keep Guehi at the club were false. In any case, Guehi remains a Palace player and has no intention of penning a new deal that would extend his contract beyond its expiry at the end of the season. A move to Merseyside remains a convincing possibility, with Liverpool snapping him up for free. In this way, Guehi could mimic another deal from the closed summer transfer window, becoming Liverpool's version of a player who actually left Anfield for a European giant just a few months ago. Liverpool's own version of Guehi. While the Anfield side were willing to part with such players, it was a different tale with homegrown hero Trent Alexander-Arnold, who was billed by many as Liverpool's new version of Steven Gerrard after emerging from the academy, but the 26-year-old instead left at the end of his contract and signed for Real Madrid. It was a contentious decision, but one which the 26-year-old made after much consideration. Leaving England and the Premier League and joining Los Blancos, Liverpool's biggest European rivals of modern times, for a fresh challenge and a chance to take his career to the next level. Many Reds couldn't understand the decision, with jeers when the right-back entered the fray after confirmation of his decision was made known in May, during a draw with Arsenal, pushing the unsavory situation toward boiling point. Even so, Alexander-Arnold celebrated Liverpool's Premier League title with his peers and showed an outpouring of emotion after playing his final match in a Liverpool shirt at the end of the season. The Three Lions star was synonymous with his former outfit's resurgence of the past decade. After all, Hailed as a generational talent by content creator Asim Mahmood, Liverpool must regret losing such an incredible, irreplaceable playmaker, one of the greatest passers of the ball in English history. There are parallels between his situation and Guehi's at Palace, to be sure, and those similarities might become more pronounced in the coming months, when talk of a pre-contract agreement with the Eagles captain gathers steam. Whether Liverpool win that battle remains to be seen, with sources recently suggesting Chelsea are gearing up to make a move of their own for Guehi after the new year. But if Guehi does have his heart set on a move to Liverpool, as has been suggested, Slot might just find himself welcoming his own version of Alexander-Arnold, landing an elite player on a Bosman and one who is cherished by the fan base of a club who cannot bear the thought of his departure. Of course, Trent will return to his old stomping ground sooner than he might have hoped for. With Real Madrid drawn against Liverpool in the league phase of the Champions League, Liverpool Chiefs will be frustrated that they couldn't convince the Scouser to stay put, but Slot's side have already shown they can overcome the setback. Just as there is confidence that the failed attempt to sign Guehi from Crystal Palace will not stop the club from achieving their goals. Liverpool transfer news as contract for Jarrell, Quansah to return agreed. Liverpool has reportedly already agreed the terms of a contract for Jarrell Quansah should he return to the club in the future. The Reds allowed Quansah to leave at the beginning of August as he joined Bayer Leverkusen, with the young center-back pushing for the move due to a desire to play regular first-team soccer. Liverpool is in something of a transitional period in the center of its defense, with prospective teenager Giovanni Leone having been signed from Parma last month. The Reds also came within whiskers of getting a deal for Mark Guehi over the line on deadline day, a deal which could have resulted in Joe Gomez being sold. Ibrahima Konate, too, is facing an uncertain future at Liverpool as his contract at Anfield is due to expire next summer, while the seemingly evergreen Virgil van Dijk is sadly not that, and he is now into his 35th year. Liverpool has arguably managed its recruitment better than any other team in the Premier League over the last decade, and Reds fans will be confident of the club getting the defensive revamp right over the next couple of years. If Liverpool were to re-sign Quansah and also get a deal for Guehi over the line next year, that pair, along with long-term bet Leone, would leave the Reds' defense looking extremely stable in the years ahead. Liverpool was not pushing for Quansah to be sold this summer, but when Leverkusen offered $35 million, $47 million, and Quansah signaled his willingness to develop elsewhere, the club was happy to sanction a conditional sale. The conditions were that the deal would include a buyback clause, allowing Liverpool to re-sign Quansah for a set fee, which is reported to exceed $70 million, while a contract has also been agreed with the player ahead of a possible return to Anfield at some point down the line, according to The Athletic. Meanwhile, Spanish outlet Fichajes is still linking Liverpool with a move for Angelo Stiller, the German midfielder who was the subject of speculation over a possible move to Anfield throughout the transfer window. While Stiller is an interesting option, reports by Fichajes should always be taken with a pinch of salt. However, considering Liverpool did not sign a new number 6 to challenge Ryan Gravenberch during the summer, it's logical to think that could be a priority position to strengthen in next year. Mark Guehi, Arne Slot drops. Fresh Liverpool transfer, hint. Arne Slot has hinted at a future move from Liverpool to try and sign Crystal Palace center-back Mark Guehi, who saw a deadline-day transfer to Anfield collapse. Liverpool had agreed a fee of $35 million, $47.5 million for Guehi, who is in the final year of his contract and has refused to sign an extension. The Eagles captain traveled for a medical, but Palace withdrew from the deal in the final hours of the window after failing to find a suitable replacement. Reports have since suggested Liverpool will not try to sign Guehi again in January, instead preferring to wait until next summer to try land the 25-year-old on a free transfer. Reflecting on the chaotic saga, Slot told his press conference ahead of Sunday's meeting with Burnley, "I think it would be ridiculous if I will deny we were close. It was so out in the open. These things happen in football. It's happened to our players before. It can happen. We would like to sign him, of course, because we were in for him. If we feel we can strengthen, then we try to. We played Ibu Konate and Virgil van Dijk, who were outstanding versus Arsenal, and Joe Gomez as well, and we signed Giovanni Leone, who had a call-up to Italy. We have Wataru Endo and Ryan Gravenberch as well, so it's not that we don't have the players. It's a pity for Guehi, but he is at a good club. Let's see what the future brings for us. Quizzed on whether Liverpool would be more likely to move for Guehi in January or at the end of the season, Slot simply responded, "I don't tell you, but I am thinking of Burnley. Guehi is believed to have been on a move to Liverpool, but rules around free transfers put the Reds at a slight disadvantage as they, alongside every other English side, are unable to speak with the defender. About a free transfer in January, European suitors, Real Madrid and Barcelona have both been named, can make direct contact with Guehi at the turn of the year and could agree a contract with the England international before Liverpool, are even permitted to reach out. Thank you for watching. Like and comment, subscribe.